All right. Okay. All right. We are live. It's there. There's a little delay. Delay gets you. All right.
The delay always gets me.
We have a special Halloween Friday live stream today.
Yeah.
Do you want to explain?
We are since it is Halloween.
This is basically we decided to do costumes like 10 minutes in advance.
Yeah. So we're wearing World War II uniforms and some web gear.
Happy Halloween.
Yeah, to honor the greatest generation.
Yeah.
And the soldiers in World War II, and it's Halloween.
And we were trying to get like some sort of authentic World War II bourbon, but I don't know.
They drink schnapps. I don't know.
All right, so welcome to Andy said schnapps. I don't know. I guess you hear old people drinking schnapps.
I don't know. What do they drink in World War II?
I don't know. All right, so joining us today, I talked about it last night, is our buddy ATOD, who the reason is we still have his Trammy. We should have just drank that on this podcast.
No, we can't crack it.
If you've been seeing, if you've been watching our videos like the past year, this thing has been sitting behind every single one. So the man behind the Trammy is here,
and he's a moderator.
Yeah, he is a moderator. That's right. How's it going, man?
Good. How's it going there?
It's going, sit in my basement dressed like a World War II guy.
Awesome.
Live streaming on the internet. I didn't know if I'd be here 5 years ago.
That's hilarious. Yeah, I decided to dress up too.
Yeah,
so
you're looking ripped. You're looking ripped.
Yeah, who are you?
Well, part of it is I went and got one of my wife's t-shirts. I dressed up as Spaguyver. So I wanted to, dress up as him, but yeah, I'm not really pulling it off that much.
You need to add like 20 pounds of solid muscle.
Yeah.
Because
he got jacked.
He
whatever
is jacked. So if the people listening don't know who Spaguyver is, because are you friends with him on Facebook?
No, I don't have Facebook anymore. I just have Instagram.
I slowly over like the months, I'm like, one night I'm just like, Mark is huge, and he is so big now. He's probably plus 30 to 40 pounds of muscle.
Oh, he looks good. He looks like he's been doing all the right stuff. That's for sure.
Yeah. Well, thank you for joining us, and sorry we couldn't make the in-person thing happen. That would have been fun,
okay.
But we're doing it through the beauty of the internet. So I think we'll start with the same question we always start with these.
Yes.
Is how did you get into backpacking?
Well, and you'll have to kind of excuse the beginning of the story. It might seem a little on the sad side. My nephew, probably about 6-7 years ago, he was kind of big into MMA and football and out in Vegas. Well, he actually was also kind of a victim to CTE.
Oh.
So he had his bouts with depression and some things like that. And he ended up losing that battle on Father's Day weekend, like I said, a few years ago. A few months later, me and my brother found some stuff up in his room that was for hiking. And we're like, man, let's put this to use. Let's go out and, I just remember talking to him all the time. And he lived in Henderson, Nevada, and he'd walk to Las Vegas, and he would actually work, go to the gym, and then walk back to Henderson. So, I mean, pretty substantial distance, really. But once we found the stuff, we ended up planning the first trip, and boom, next thing you know, we're on Isle Royale for a few days.
I didn't know that. I didn't know you've been there.
Yeah, that was my very first trip.
Wait,
first trip was Isle Royale.
Your first trip ever backpacking was Isle Royale?
Trip ever backpacking, yeah. Talk about setting the bar.
Yeah, so you're actually the only other backpacker we've talked to that's gone to Isle Royale, which is interesting.
Oh, that's awesome.
What
I want to go back because I didn't know what I was doing. Like 50-pound pack, sludging through the mud on Rock Harbor Trail after a heavy rain. The boat ride was terrible.
Did you take the 4 hour? Did you take the 4 hour one?
Yeah.
Did you take the Dramamine?
Yes.
No.
Did you puke?
Did you vomit?
No, I was actually probably one of 3 people on the boat at that time. Here's the deal. they were calling for some heavy winds in the middle of Superior. I mean, they're talking like 6 foot waves. So
Oh.
in fact, they almost shut it down, but they had so many day trippers, they went ahead and sent the barge out. Like it was so much carnage, man. They literally ran out of barf bags on that boat. It was
Yeah,
so bad.
That's how our trip was,
That's
and we
how
were the only
Yeah.
boat that went that weekend.
Oh, the boat bounced so hard it was breaking antennas at the top of the boat. I mean, it was crazy. So I remember walking in, like a couple of my nephews were inside, and my buddy Sparky, who's in some of my videos. Man, those guys are
Yeah, I
all
just
passed
watched your
out.
kayaking video.
Oh yeah, that was the first one ever. Hope we got a bunch more of those coming, man.
Well, that's
that was so
something.
much fun.
So when you went to Aurora, you backpacked it, but did you see all the people going to do like fishing type trips?
Yes. I mean, they were loading. I probably, it looked like a dozen kayaks were going
Yeah,
on the boat. It was crazy.
I always tell Andy, I think that's the way to do it.
Canoe or
Canoe
kayak?
or kayak.
Yeah, I heard you talk. By the way, Justin last night, fantastic.
I know.
And that guy's great. So I heard you guys talking about that last night.
Well, he
So
told
I
us
think that'd be
he told us we would die if we kayaked it.
Yeah. Like as our first kayak trip, he's like, don't do that. He was serious too.
Yeah.
Yeah.
He's
Yeah.
like, no.
It's something about him when he speaks. He's like a man amongst boys. It's like you listen to him. You know what I
Yeah.
mean? Like when we were backpacking with him, it just like you got that sense. He knows what he's doing. So it's really cool experience. Because obviously, I obviously did not. So, and by the way, can I take a couple minutes? I'd like to address the crowd. So I would like to personally apologize for almost killing David Gray.
Yeah.
So
No, wait, who's to
come on.
blame?
Okay, yeah.
Who's to blame?
So, and for that, I'm actually thinking about changing my name to get David to be able to hike with me. Basically, I'd like to maybe change it to Avoiding Trails of Death. So that I can get him to hike with me again. So that'd be pretty cool.
He's back and stronger than ever.
Yeah,
now.
no, he was
got the knee
Yeah,
replaced.
he's saying the new knee it's flying. So you might have helped him
Yeah.
out.
Well, that's a rough way, man. I tell you what, I felt so bad when I heard that happen. I was like, my goodness. But it could have been a lot worse, though, honestly. He took a couple of tumbles that absolutely terrified me. But we were talking about it, and I agree with what Justin said last night. That dude, he is such a freaking trooper, man. He just he's a joy to have on the trail. He can gut through about anything, still smile, keep going, and his pack is no joke. I mean, that was insane. When I picked it up one time, I couldn't believe how heavy it was.
What is it?
So it's crazy.
What?
Well, he's got the hot tent.
But he didn't take the hot tent in New York.
Why is it so heavy? What is he? Because
Who, David Grace? David Grace pack?
Wait, are you talking about Justin's or David's pack?
No, David's pack is so heavy.
David.
So,
he's got good gear.
David's pack is so heavy. Like, I think his camera gear weighs more than
He
my
does.
total rig.
He does take. He takes 5 to 10 pounds of camera gear, I think, because he takes a tripod. Yeah, I mean, it's pretty crazy when you think about it. And then he always has the camera running, like at camp and stuff. We don't do that. So he gets everything on video.
He does.
He
does. I'm kind of jealous of it, to be honest with you. Like the way he records everything. I mean, it's incredible. So he really gets the in-camp experience. I mean, it's absolutely great.
Were you amazed by David's passion for the Lake Placid Olympics and his knowledge for it?
That was ridiculous. I'm just saying. Like literally, he was walking by, and I can't remember the details. I barely remember what I had for lunch yesterday, but we're walking by this outdoor skating rink, and he's like, yeah, this is the last time they had the outdoor speed skating event, and so won it and broke the record.
Oh my
I mean, it
God.
was incredible.
That's awesome.
Like, here was where it happened on the Miracle of Ice, and I had to go home and watch it on Disney just to
Wait,
see what the Miracle of Ice.
The Miracle on Ice
the
was
Miracle
there?
on Ice was there
That's where
at the Lake Placid Olympics. Oh, I didn't know
we beat
that.
the Russians.
Yeah,
Or the Soviets.
Wow. I guess. Wow. Interesting. Way to go, David. You book tours or something. How did that trip even happen?
Did you put that one together? Was that your brainchild?
Yeah, yes, it was. It was. And actually, that was probably one of the most stressful trips I've ever put together, just because of the outbreak of COVID. It's in New York, and
Yeah.
with the struggles New York City was having. I mean, I probably called the Rangers office like 3 times a week leading up to it. I think at one point, like, this dude's from Indiana, don't answer it. So, day to hike, and so. But yeah, it was. I think when I was just looking, it's like that June trip is always special to me because that's the reasons why it started. So I always want that to be my big special trip of the year. So looking at it, I'm like, okay, I can't really go out west. I don't really want to go there. And then I just remember seeing something in the high peaks, looking at Mount Marcy and the Gothics and just all these crazy views. So I ordered a map, started looking at the map. The problem with the maps, they don't tell you how hard those scrambles are. I mean, that was probably by far the most challenging trail I've ever been on, was in the Adirondacks.
Yeah, everybody says that.
It looked like that. I couldn't imagine that.
No, that's like one of those ones where, like Justin was saying yesterday, it's like half mile an hour if you're lucky going up.
Yeah, legit. I mean, it's like, but I tell you the cool thing about it, there was like such a camaraderie between everybody, like helping each other and helping everybody up to the next level or whatever it is. It just kind of it just kind of makes you stronger. Like I think Goat said it best when we were up there. Like, man, it takes a village, and like, yeah, you're absolutely right. If it's just, for one, I actually did feel better when I was watching Jason Wish's video and on going into the second day, how tired he was. I was like, he looks a little beat up. So, a little better about us, but yeah, that dude's a beast.
Yeah, his video is fantastic from that trip too. But I mean, he's always at the top of the mountains. He's like, well, or like day one, he's like, I've made it up before everybody. I guess I'll just take a break.
Yeah, well, that's the difference. We take our breaks as we're going up. We don't take them once we get up.
Right.
But yeah, that dude's a beast. So nothing but respect for him.
Yeah, absolutely. No, it's awesome when you have like a good group of people and everybody's, kind of, working together and whatever changes need to be made or whatever, it doesn't really matter. It's just good to be in a cool spot hanging out with cool people.
That place looked really cool. I didn't realize how rugged. I mean, you hear about that area as being like super rugged, but it's mountainous. It's no joke, mountainous.
Yeah, if you want to see some more good videos from there, and speaking of, since you look exactly like Spacgyver right now, have you ever seen his have you ever seen his video when he did that?
Yes, I did. Those guys, man, those guys are animals. So I actually watched that, and it's almost kind of deceptive because, like, oh man, yeah, they did like 8 miles. Surely I can do like 5. I mean, but those guys are absolute animals. So that was a great video he had. I think that was actually one of the very first Spacgyver videos I watched.
But didn't he end up like blowing out his knee on that one too?
That might have been was that the White Mountains?
The Whites, sorry, not the Adirondacks. You're right. Yeah. The Whites. I'm thinking of the Whites. God, that one was just like brutal.
He did do the Adirondacks too in that same area. It was like, I think, one of his first videos. So it was quite a while ago. But I actually used that to kind of try to see some of those scrambles.
That's
and
smart.
It was it was
comments.
What?
I'm trying not to look at the comments, but
good.
No Bison said, "Where's Radar and Hawkeye?" That was Korea, not World War II.
Oh, shit. That is so funny. Nice, man. Love it. Keep the mash jokes coming.
And they said when we said I don't know what they drink during World War II, we got comments about Schlitz.
Oh yeah. Okay.
All right. What are you drinking tonight?
It's a Kentucky Mule.
What's in a Kentucky Mule?
It's a Moscow Mule, but with bourbon, right?
Oh.
Yep. Got it.
Yeah.
You got it.
They're pretty good.
Yeah, that rye mules are pretty good too.
Yeah. Oh. Yeah, I know. That thing I didn't that St. Elmo's thing you showed me. I didn't know that was a thing. Like that existed. That sounded really good.
So I'll bring it out here. So they're
Yep. Show and tell.
So yeah, this is going to be your guys'
nice.
new ATOD. So by the way,
oh, nice upgrade over the makers.
Yeah, because hey,
you got to glue something on top of it.
Well, I could. I might take that one and take the thing. Our company lost Maker's Mark, so that's kind of a sore subject.
That's
Like,
nice.
Oh, should we smash this?
Yeah, should we
Smash this on camera?
every time you guys talk about drinking, I was like, man, I hope they do. Please do. I'll get you something else.
Yeah, it just looks
But-
nice.
We're not drinking the ATOD.
It's all right. I understand. But yeah, so St. Elmo's is actually a restaurant in Indianapolis.
Yeah,
and
it's, like,
they
famous.
make a bourbon, and it's got like a lot of cherry vanilla bean in it. And they actually designed it. It's got like cherry chunks a little bit in it. They actually make it to be a mixer for Coke. Like they make
Yeah, it
cherry
sounds
Cokes
good.
with it.
That
And
does
it's
sound
actually
good.
Fantastic. So, or you can put it with Screwball and have like a 90 proof dessert. So it's pretty intense.
It does sound good. Yeah, that does sound
Yeah,
really
yeah.
good. Yeah, that's isn't that like a famous steakhouse in Indianapolis?
Oh yes. Yeah.
I just
it's a
know that
high-end
because of Ron
steakhouse.
Swanson. Doesn't Ron Swanson go there?
No.
I've heard of St. Elmo's though.
I don't know.
Yeah, I don't know. I didn't know they had a bourbon either. That would have been good. Okay. So how did you make the transition to start YouTubing things? We kind of covered how you got into backpacking.
Yeah. So, I mean, when I started doing like research, I mean, that's like the number one thing people started, really looking into when they start to look for backpacking trips or where to go. They started going to YouTube. I was really no different. I mean, I just trying to find what I can, what's out there. And then I started thinking about, it's like, it would be kind of cool to do it myself, but it's more of my photo album, I kind of really want to, when I can't walk up these mountains because I'm too old, I want to be able to kind of go back and, oh my gosh, I remember when I was stuck on that mountain with lightning all around me, or the time I almost killed David Gray, just, I kind of want to go back
That's the best.
some of those trips and relive them. So they're a little less painful when you look at them in the future. So,
That's pretty funny.
but yeah.
So we'll eventually have to talk about what made you step up to organize the Ohio YouTube meetup. But do you have any other things organized for this year?
Yeah, what's your backpacking docket looking like?
Well, I'd like to get a winter trip in at some point. I mean, I've been talking with backpacking with Jason, maybe trying to come down to the Red River Gorge and do some more off-trail stuff with them.
He's the expert.
We did. What's that? I'm sorry.
He's the expert there.
Oh, he is. He's so much fun to hang around to. Him, Jeremiah, all those guys are great. Still like to hang out with JK. I haven't been able to hike with him yet, so he's on the radar. But Jason was telling me that he does a lot of off trail in the winter, just leaves the trail, goes on into the woods, and like that would be a blast. And I kind of like winter hiking a little bit myself. I haven't done the extensive cold stuff. I mean, down to 17, 20 degrees, I'm pretty good. I'm pretty
That's
solid
cold.
there.
That's pretty cool.
That's real winter.
Yeah.
You think so? I mean, it's like
that's what we call winter backpacking.
I mean, it's not in northern Canada.
It's not like, New Hampshire.
it's just it's not. Northern Indiana gets pretty cold, so I'm fairly used to 20 degrees is easy for me. It's not. It's pretty much just where I live is an extension of Michigan, really. But yeah, so going down to Kentucky, it was kind of crazy when we went there for the Eagles Nest trip. I mean, they got a little bit of snow, man. I went in to get my pass, and they're all freaking out, shutting down the state. And I'm like, what is this?
Wow.
It's like a dusting. So,
Yeah. We've only done a little bit of like snow backpacking.
Yeah, like we've had some dustings here and there, and then Wisconsin.
Then we went to Wisconsin. But it was okay. Like trudging through snow. I like the cold aspect of it.
No, it was beautiful.
It was really pretty though. Yeah. Normally we luck out, like our climate here, like we say winter backpacking, it's like 25 degrees, maybe.
Yeah.
It's not like really bad. Still counts.
yeah.
And I'm looking forward to it.
The problem with Ohio winter backpacking though is that
Super wet.
well, yeah, it'll go like 35, 40 degree, like high 30s during the day, and then freeze at night. So it's like sleet, rain during the day.
It's very wet.
And then ice.
And humid.
Yeah.
I would rather be snowed on than rained on anytime. I mean, rain's just miserable. I can deal with snow, and I mean, yeah.
Yeah. I don't know. Where Andy and I we're just now putting together our like winter backpacking docket for this year. So we're trying to figure out. I don't know if we're ready for New Hampshire.
Oh God.
Would you go there in the winter with him?
I would.
Yeah.
I would 100% be there. Yeah.
Yeah, he's
I
got
would
it down. I can't believe how much winter backpacking that dude does.
No, the best is when he's like, no, the season's just beginning. And we're like, what?
He just dropped that. Like, what? Most people say the opposite. I mean, he's kind of right.
No, he's 100% right.
But like where he goes, it's so much harsher than what we do. Like it's so much harder.
You gotta have mental, the mental toughness to put up with that just day after day after day.
Yeah, I don't know.
The best thing about it wouldn't be as crowded. I mean, I think that's what I like best about the time. I mean, I hate it. Almost kind of takes you out of it when you go to certain places and they're just so packed with people. And I went this last trip. I buzzed over to Linville Falls before it kind of got rained out before the tropical storm was hitting. And there really wasn't that many people at the falls. I mean, it was super cool. So usually when you see pictures of it, it's just like shoulder to shoulder. Everybody's crowding in on the trail. To me, it was kind of just a little refreshing to be out there without a bunch of crowds. And I think winter backpacking for me, especially in the gorge, I love Red River Gorge. It's just a great place to go. So without the crowds of the summertime, winter to me would be ideal.
Yeah.
Yeah, it is. It does suck. Like when we went to West Virginia this year, there were just like cars everywhere and just people everywhere. And it is weird. Like in the winter, there's just nobody there. It's awesome. And parking too. Was it crowded when you went to New Hampshire? 'Cause you went during kind of a peak time.
To New York, yeah, it was a little busy.
New York.
It was a little busy. Yeah, I think we were probably the only ones carrying backpacks up the mountains. I think everybody else was like staying at a lean-to or Adirondack shelter and then just day tripping it up certain peaks. But it got a little crowded in spots. I think I want to say going up the Gothics we didn't see very many people, but getting to like the base of Lower Wolf's Jaw that we seen a few folks. So the first shelter we came to at Lower Wolf's Jaw, I mean there was people there, and then I can't remember the one that we pulled off onto and went to on the last night, but that one was booked too. So there was still people in the shelters.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah.
So what was your? I know you talked a little bit about how much of a pain that was to organize during COVID, but like, how did you get to what was the point when you're just like, F it, we're doing it? Like,
I think from the time I planned the trip or thought of the trip originally, I mean, I get stubborn, man. It's like I want it to happen. So come short of, I mean, I basically was like, hey, look, if I go to New York and I cross the border from Pennsylvania, am I going to get arrested? I mean, that was but if I don't get arrested, I'm still doing this trip. But yeah, it was. But the crazy thing is, when I talked to them, it was almost kind of comforting because I'm calling up to the Rangers office. They acted like hey, look, I'm planning on driving from Indiana. Got a bunch of guys coming with me. We're going to be hiking the Adirondack high peaks. So is that allowed? Am I allowed to? Are you guys taking out-of-state hikers? And they kind of almost like laughed at me. They're like, yeah, of course we are. Upstate New York was more like Indiana. They're like, yeah, you're fine. Don't worry about it. Just wear a mask.
Yeah.
Okay. A little different than what I expected.
David showed up in the chat and he wanted to just let you know, ATOD, that he doesn't blame you for anything, even though we do. I'm just kidding.
Yeah, we do. It's true.
David's in the middle of hosting a dinner party, though, so I'm not sure.
I think he's in the middle of hosting a dinner party. He's watching our live stream. Love it.
Must be a sweet
Put that up on the TV for everybody to watch there, David.
And David said, I can't believe we're not intimately familiar with the 1980 Winter Olympics. Didn't they teach you kids anything in school? Without a doubt, the best Olympics ever.
Oh, that's hilarious.
Oh my God, that's hilarious. Funny.
Maybe the next live stream with David, we just need to do.
Let's just talk to him about the 1980 Winter Olympics. Yes. I bet we have an entire 3-hour podcast about it.
Oh, that's on the TV for everyone.
That's really funny.
I mean, that's so much about it. It was crazy.
Yeah,
that's so awesome. Oh, that's great. Oh man, I love it. God, was that your first? Well, I guess you went to the YouTube meetup, so that wasn't your first time meeting up with YouTubers. When you went to New York, it's always, and I guess you knew David prior to it, so you at least knew, and Goat, So I guess it wasn't like a total. You guys knew each other, but sometimes it's interesting going to meet. I mean, we do it all the time. We do it at least once a year. Is you go and just we were talking last night about that, about how it's kind of it's interesting, but we have yet to meet someone we like really dislike. You know, like that was like the fear, like, oh, here's someone that sucks, and we got to spend like the next like 3 or 4 days with them.
Yeah, I have social phobia. So.
Yeah. I know.
Agreed.
I know. And when we thought about, at least there was at least a little thought about doing a YouTube meetup this year.
Yeah,
but it's just weird. It's
COVID.
just a weird year.
So how did I don't even know how it came about that you decided to step up and host the meetup. I'm not going to call it an Ohio YouTube meetup anymore because that's not fair. Because it's more like Midwest.
It's the Ohio YouTubers meetup. More right?
No, because we got Indiana people.
That's true. It's the greater Midwest.
Yeah.
I don't know. Yeah, how did that come?
Okay, so I think Restless was the one that he planned it all, but I think for the ATODs, like, man, dude, I was just so appreciative for everybody that does these videos. I mean, like, no joke. I mean, it just gives such good entertainment. I mean, if you go through and like think about what's on Netflix, think about what's on the news, or I mean, it's just depression. I mean,
it's terrible. It is terrible.
It is. So it's like, man, I'm learning stuff. I'm learning about the country. I'm learning about doing different types of backpacking. I'm getting to meet people. I mean, to me, it was almost like the ATOD wasn't about giving you something. It was about appreciating what you guys give me. You know, like the David Grays or like some of his videos out west. I mean, the dude's second to none on his photography. I mean, just some of the pictures that you see of him, like what you guys do, and JK and Jeremiah now with their podcast. I mean, it's just fantastic. It gives great content that people can watch. I mean, I can let my kids watch it. Well, except for maybe some of Restless's videos.
You mean all of them? So
which, by the way,
so what? Yeah, go ahead.
I was gonna say, by the way, he was one of the first YouTubers I actually backpacked with.
Oh, really?
Restless.
He's fun.
Yeah,
he's a good guy.
He is a blast. He's a great guy. My life's dream is to go on a trip with him and Dan. So get him and Dan out there.
So this is I was going to ask you this question related to ATODs, and now it makes it even better because Bryce is in the chat. But what does Bryce need to do and work on in order to get an ATOD? He's just not there yet.
Well,
he's not there yet.
He is. And you know, Bryce, his gear review videos and some of his gear videos have, I mean, it's went leaps over bounds over last year.
Okay.
And especially his ultralight videos series, dude, that's ridiculous. Anybody that goes
stupid
out,
ultralight. I believe he uses the term stupid ultralight.
Yes. So anybody that goes out and 5 pounds of gear or less deserves an ATOD award. So for his stupid ultralight series,
is this happening live?
The stupid ultralight.
Oh, look at that! He won remotely.
Bryce, wow, I thought he was going to get most improved.
What's that on? A bottle of
Bardstown.
Oh,
Bardstown.
Bardstown.
Oh, okay, I could see it. Oh yeah.
So Bryce, next time I see you, buddy, I'm saving this one for you.
Hey Bryce, though, look at this.
Ours is a lot bigger, Bryce.
Ours is bigger.
Size matters. What? Hashtag size matters. That's funny. That's pretty funny. That was pretty fun what you did at last year at the meetup.
It was awesome.
With all the winners. That was actually really fun. And it just fueled the fire of drinking that night, by the way. Let's just pass out a bunch of liquor.
Yeah, you happened to give Jason you
guys are crushing drinks. Here's more liquor.
Yeah, that was not planned.
Backpacking with Jason happened to win a whole bottle of tequila.
That was good.
It was very good.
That was really good. Yeah, that was fun. I wish we could have done that again this year. You know, maybe we can do it in the spring. The first meetup was in the spring. It was in March, in like 2017 or 2018. At the same site. Maybe we should do that. I don't know.
One of these years, the Rangers are going to be on to us.
It's amazing that we haven't got busted doing it because we put out, there's like 10 aggregate videos that go out that say this specific date, site number 3, we'll probably be partying there. And they've never showed up. It is pretty incredible.
I think it's lucky so far.
Yeah.
Oh my God. Those meetups, even all meetups in general, kind of devolve into that. It's fun though.
Yeah, it is fun.
It's not in a pandemic year, I guess.
No.
Sit this one out.
No, we could get tickets this year or
Yeah.
arrested.
Oh yeah, because we not only would we be breaking several like park rules, we'd be breaking several public health rules as well. Yeah, that's right. All right, we'll skip this year. That's pretty funny. Oh man, how did COVID like screw any of your backpacking plans like back in like March or the summer?
Yeah. I mean, I try to do like 5 trips a year at least, and it feels like even though I've gotten out, it feels like it's been a struggle to get out, and I haven't necessarily planned or really looked into some of the places I wanted to go. You know what I mean? Like I wanted to maybe go out a little further west this year. I'd like to go to maybe Southern Illinois or something like that, or Missouri, just to kind of see some different area. I mean, just going to Mount Mitchell the other day, I almost didn't do that. It makes it kind of tough, but I'm hoping to bounce back next year. It'd be cool to go up maybe to New Hampshire, see Justin. Or I got a buddy that lives in Arizona. I've been wanting to go back out. I did some of the Superstitious Mountains in Arizona. I'd love to go back out there. So that was kind of cool. Did it in a hammock at Rivas Ranch, Rivas Falls area. But that's always a dream, is to kind of go back out west to Arizona or something like that. But as soon as COVID hits, like, I'm not even looking to try to fly anywhere at this point.
Yeah.
So
that sounds sweet, but I've never heard anyone say, I can't wait to go backpacking in Southern Illinois. I guess you have Shawnee Forest. You have Shawnee National Forest, right?
Yes. Yeah. I think it'd be kind of cool. Just see something different, you know? So I know Restless was talking about Garden of the Gods and that.
Yeah, that's true. That's there.
So
yeah,
I think that'd be kind of cool to see.
Missouri too. I could see Missouri as having cool backpacking.
Yeah.
Definitely.
I mean, I kind of want to go to the places that you don't really see a lot of on YouTube, at times. I kind of want to see something different. Sometimes you see the same videos of the same trails, even though it's different when you go see them. It'd be kind of cool to maybe experience or kind of explore something a little different.
Yeah, I think if anybody has never been to Dolly Sods or Red River Gorge, there's only 2.5 million YouTube videos from a circle of us. It probably has every inch of trail somewhere on someone's video.
There are a ton.
Yeah, every time I think about going to Dolly Sods, I watch a video and see mud, and it's like, I don't really.
What about so I've never been to Hoosier National Forest. What's that got? Have you been there?
I just went this early spring. That was actually my first backpacking trip in Indiana. So it was a little hilly. The water was kind of tough for me to find at one point. I think the one water source I did find, I was walking along a horse trail. I come up over a hill, and there was like 20 horses standing in the creek.
Oh, wow.
That kind of ruined that spot. But it was nice. It really was. But to me, I like the rock structures and stuff like that. I mean, it's fun for an overnighter.
Sounds like Southern Ohio.
Yeah. I mean, if I want to do anything in Indiana, that's kind of why I'm starting to do the kayak thing. Northern Indiana has tons of lakes, tons of nice creeks and rivers. Like I said, it's pretty much just an extension of Michigan. So I kind of want to start the whole kayak fishing element of my adventure life. That's one of the things I started out doing early in life, was fishing. It's one of my favorite things to do, pastime.
So that was your first video, this last one, of kayak fishing?
Yeah. I've never.
I noticed you had. Did you have 3 poles? Because you had 2 off the back, right?
Yeah. So it was kind of cold and a little choppy, and with the cold, I wanted to get something maybe more finesse. So I set up a rod for some wacky worms, maybe just to kind of get the bass to strike because they're irritated. But then also I try to hit all 3 elements of the water. I try to get maybe a crankbait, a finesse with a wacky worm, and then a top water. if for anything that might be feeding on top. So I always try to explore all three elements. But
That's
so it was just easy.
that's a good. You're ready to do Isle Royal.
Yeah, I still can't believe Isle Royal was your first trip, which is amazing. How did you decide on Isle Royal for your first trip? Like, what was the thought process to get there?
This is hilarious. So, literally, never watched a backpacking video in my life. No idea who Shug is. No idea who Syntax is. So, know nothing about backpacking. Um, so I literally got on Google Earth and started looking for just large green mats and zooming in and just seeing what was cool. I'm like, what is this in the middle of Superior? So and then I zoom in on it. It said Isle Royale. So I Google it, and then just you bring up the website of it. I'm like, this seems pretty freaking cool. And my brother was doing the same thing. It was his son that passed away, so he's kind of looking and doing the same thing. He called me, and as soon as I'm like right there looking at Isle Royale, he called me. He goes, "Hey man, I found a spot." I was like, "Okay, where are we going?" He said, "Isle Royale." I'm like, "No way."
Creepy. Nice.
Wow.
Nice. It was meant to
Yeah,
be.
it's pretty cool. So he goes, I already figured out how to take the ferry there. All we got to do is figure out what gear we're taking. So, and by that point, you're reading, you always got to be prepared. You got to make sure you have everything you need, and the Boy Scout mentality. And it's like next thing you know, I've got a 50-pound pack, and I'm walking Rock Harbor, and right after a rainstorm. So,
Did
it was such a blast.
Did you stay in the shelters?
Great question.
No. I stayed in a tent. Obviously being my first tent and not knowing anything about ultralight, I figured a Morrison 3-person tent that weighed 6 pounds would be great. so yeah, it was. I think that was my heaviest piece of gear. It was ridiculous.
Did you see any moose?
No, but
God, we didn't see any either.
no. Okay, so here's the crazy thing. And I think I posted a picture of a silver fox a long time ago on my Instagram from that trip.
I didn't know they had those.
So one of my nephews was there. I had 2 other nephews that came on the trip with me, and we were setting up camp. And my brother and his buddy went down to the lake, and I'm sitting there putting my stuff away, and my nephew always, "Whoa, Uncle Jeremy, a coyote!" And I look up,
Bro, I
and
didn't know they had those.
There's no coyote on this island.
Yeah.
So I look up, and
It's a
it was a
wolf.
silver fox that walked in.
Oh.
And I'm like, that's pretty cool. So, and he stood there staring at me in the middle of the day. I mean, the animals there, they're not scared of you.
No.
I mean, they're so used to people, it's ridiculous. So I got my phone, took a picture of him. He went on. He's like, I got to go tell Dad. So I'm like, all right, cool. So he goes and tells his dad. Then he comes back. He goes, hey, you'll never believe this. I just seen another fox, and it crossed the trail, but it was like 3 times the size of that one.
Oh, that's a wolf.
Might have just seen 1 or 2 wolves.
Yeah. It's a really big fox.
It's
So,
That's a wolf.
So of the two wolves, our party seen one of them that was hanging around Rock Harbor, but we never seen one of the 1,800 moose. Is it moose or meese or how do
Moose.
you?
Yeah, I know you're right. That's kind of the same story for us. We'd be like passing people and they're like, "Whoa, we just saw a moose right there."
Literally,
Literally,
what? Every day, like, oh, we just had this sweet moose encounter, like 100 yards that way, and we didn't see shit. Man, that's so there's two like distinct things I remember from Isle Royale. See if you have any experience. First off, before I say this, did you bring a fishing pole?
I did.
Okay. Did you? And obviously, how was the fishing success? Pike?
Okay, so
Fire
I
tiger
caught a
lures?
pike, right? Well, I was pulling a spinner bait because I knew they had a lot of pike on. I think it was at Robinson Lake.
Okay, so you're on the lakes. Okay.
Yeah. So I remember there was a lot of pike there. I remember researching that because again, I love to fish. So I grabbed a spinner bait, and like the second cast, I caught about a 2-pound pike. Brought it in, and you can clean and eat the fish.
Yeah.
Like off the island. You just can't fish on the main.
Right. There's limits there. Yeah.
Yeah.
So I'm like, heck yeah, man, we're gonna cook up some pike tonight.
Nice.
So I caught one. I started to go get another one. And the black flies, like literally, I swear they were trying to eat the pike that was laying on the ground, and then they started on me. It was insane.
We didn't have that.
It was so bad. I remember looking down, and it looked like there was 50 flies all over this pike, and I'm like, we're going to clean it and run back to and we're done. So we ended up having one fish, which was phenomenal. I mean, anytime you can catch a fish and then clean it and eat it that day, it's ridiculous.
Yeah, we crushed pike there. We probably caught 40.
Yeah.
And Andy, one night, it was like night 6, and we were so sick of backpacking food, and he cleaned like 4 pounds of pike, and we ate it all.
It was way too much.
So much.
We ate it all too.
We did. They're so big. Oh man. Okay, so
I was gonna say pike is a great meat, man.
It's
People don't
good.
realize how
It's
good
mild.
It's so good.
There's a lot of bones.
Damn Y bones.
There's a lot of bones, but it's a very mild white fish taste, and even like a small pike is like it's like a lot of meat. So and we took a whole, I'm sure you guys did too. We took a whole fish cooking, or Andy did, whole fish cooking setup with like butter and like all these spices and foil.
Yep.
And we cooked them a bunch of different ways, and it was fun. We had 2 nights of pike actually.
Oh, that's right.
That's
right.
Get the Y bone out.
Yeah. It wasn't successful though.
No, we were picking bones out all night.
Yeah, you're like, you do the little trick along the fillet, try to find the Y bones, and then do the cut down.
No.
And it's like,
bones
didn't work
every
out.
bite. Every bite we were picking bones out. It was still good though.
Yeah.
It was just like after so many nights of dehydrated food, fresh cooked fish in butter with like sauce and spices is so good.
Yeah.
If you got to pick a couple bones out, it doesn't matter. I don't know. It was cool. But anyway, what I was going to say is there were 2 things about Isle Royale that I distinctly remember. One were the loons when you were waking up. Did you experience that?
Oh yeah. Yeah.
And that was that was beautiful. That was incredible. That was a cool, especially so, I don't know. So Andy and I, we stayed on Superior a couple times, and we hammocked on the lake, and they would swim on the lake like right outside our hammock. It was just like so majestic. Like you wake up and like a family of loons is coming like right by you. Did you have them like get close to you when you were waking up?
No, we just seen them at a distance, usually when we were walking across Superior. But I mean, I've been to, my family used to go up and fish Minnesota for a couple weeks at a time, ever since I could barely walk. Like literally, actually, I was in a boat fishing. I mean, like literally in a boat with my family's fishing since I was like 2 years old. I mean, it's just every summer we always went up to Minnesota, and that was we had a loon one time that actually was chasing our boat because it was trying to run us away from
interesting.
from kids. Them things are fast.
Yeah,
man.
that was my first.
They're protected too.
That was my first interaction with loons, and then the second thing I remember about Isle Royale was the squirrels. And they're so loud. I mean, they're so annoying. I mean, there's the most like squirrely place I've ever backpacked. It was, and they tell you, which surprised me, and they probably told you this. They're like, don't hang your food. They told us specifically not to do that, and so we're like, okay, and you just put it on like the picnic table, and the squirrels are on it constantly. They're just everywhere, and then they were up. Do you remember this? They were up above our hammocks, and they would release
pine
cones from the trees, and they'd fall on you, and then they'd go and collect them. So all night, we're just hearing pine cones being dropped on our tarps by these squirrels. It was like the most random thing. I don't know if that happened to you. Were you were in a tent though, correct? Not a hammock.
Yeah, I was in a tent. I did have something weird happen to me. So I'm in this 3-person tent, right? And Sparky was on the left, our gear is in the middle, I was on the right. I was like literally all the way up against the side of the tent, and it felt like a snout just rubbed. Like it was probably 2 a.m.
That's creepy.
It was probably like a fox.
What was it?
I don't know.
Was it a moose?
I wondered if it was a moose because it felt like a cow nose, I mean, I grew up on a farm, so I mean, it just had that like a horse or just something big went up against my leg on the outside of the tent. I remember just being that terrified.
Dude, that would scare the shit out of me.
I know. Just like a little pocket knife.
Like you're in a tent and something just moves along your leg on the outside of the tent.
God.
That was probably the second freakiest thing
That's when you get as you get as
okay,
small as
you
you
need to tell
can.
me about the most freakiest thing. If that's the second freakiest thing that's happened to you.
Well, it was weird. So it was in Red River Gorge. Me and my buddy were going down, and if you go to Bison Way Trail, and you start on the Bison Way Trail, you can go to where there's almost like a little split in the trail and a big rock. If you take the trail and it goes straight up to the left, I mean, you can see the parking lot for a Bison Way, but there's a little platform at the top. It's a great place to go if you get in late and need to get somewhere quick to throw up a tent. So we'd always go there, throw up our tent, and then start our backpacking the next day. We were setting up. It was probably about 11 o'clock midnight or so. And I can't even describe to you the sounds that it made. But it sounded almost primal. And
Is that a
it was
squatch?
just like a weird scream and something falling.
Was it a Fisher
And
cat?
then no, it wasn't the double bird. It wasn't anything like that.
Wait, so
But
this was. So explain the scenario again. Like you're at this campsite that's close to a parking lot.
yeah, okay. So have you ever been to the Bison Way Trailhead?
I don't think
No.
so.
Red River.
I don't think so.
Okay, so it's just a trailhead. It's a good way to get to the Sheltowee, to get up to the staircase. Well, we park there. You go up maybe about 50 yards, 70 yards, somewhere around there, and then there's a split in the trail. And the trail actually goes off to the right. There's a big rock there, but if you go to the left, it goes up a hill, a pretty steep hill, and there's a platform, so you can camp out pretty quick. You
Okay.
can get your stuff up pretty
Okay.
quick.
Okay.
So it was probably about I can't remember. It was pretty late, but I remember just hearing that noise, and my buddy Sparky, he's so matter of fact about everything. I mean, I swear nothing bothers the guy. And I literally like, dude, what was that? He said, something dying. Don't worry about it. I'm like, I mean, when you hear strange noises and you don't recognize them, that probably bothers me more than anything. Like if I heard a bear or know it's a bear or whatever, but when you don't recognize something, to me, that's always a little. It's the uncertainty of stuff that bothers me more than anything. But I can't even describe what it was.
That always happens to us when we're out.
Yeah.
Just screams. I gotta say though, I think I'd be more weirded out by the random random head that's like rolling across my leg at like 2 in the morning, dude.
No.
I bet it was a moose.
Well,
it had to have been.
It had to have been. I don't think there was, because there's no bear on there, right? I mean,
Right. There's no
really
bear. There's no bear.
I mean, the only thing semi-predatory was wolves, and at that time, like I said, they only had a couple left.
Yeah.
There was only
So,
one when we were there,
Yeah.
and we saw the tracks. It's on video.
Yeah. Yeah. Oh, do you know they've added wolves?
Yeah, they've added them.
I was going to ask you that.
They
You
have.
heard that?
Yeah,
Was
they
it
have.
University of Michigan?
Yeah. No, I don't know.
I forget who did it.
I don't know who did it, but they definitely. Then I was like, that's a hilarious. Like, what did they just like airdrop wolves over there?
No, they released them, but I think I remember reading. So there was a few wolves that were still on the island that had, I think, come over the last few. There's 2, and they released a new pack of wolves. And man, I hope I'm saying this right, but I believe the new pack of wolves killed the 2 existing wolves.
Oh, interesting.
Yeah.
Interesting.
I think I read that. Man, you might need to fact check me on that.
Where all did you go in Isle Royale?
So we went down the Rock Harbor Trail.
Yeah.
And then, I think it's Lake Robinson is where we camped out the first night. It's been a while.
How many
but,
nights were you there?
Then we went up to like the East Chicken Bone. I think
Yeah,
that
we were
went
there.
up to that area. So, and then just kind of circled around back to Rock Harbor. So,
Did you
that was
hold on.
such
The wolves were from Canada.
Nice. Good check. Did you eat at the restaurant?
No, we jumped ship and then headed back because we were trying to catch the ferry and all that other fun stuff. But we ended up going back, getting on the ferry, and then we ended up going a different route home. And we ended up. I remember we stopped at like this Burger King, and it took forever to get there. And it's like at that point, that was my first experience with hiker hunger.
Oh yeah.
I mean, it's like
you're ready.
Double quarter pounders, the fries. It was ridiculous.
The restaurant there is surprisingly good for
Yes.
being a restaurant. 50 miles offshore, and the I didn't go into it, but the hotel looked pretty cool too. And it might be cool to go back there and stay there like for a night.
Yeah,
on the end.
and
of
they
it.
sold great beer at the ranger station.
Oh,
Nice.
and when we were hiking in, we saw so many people taking in like cases of PBR and like all this beer. And I'm like, why is everyone bringing in all this beer? And then in the like ranger station gift shop, there's just a fridge filled with all the best Michigan and craft beer from all over. And I was like, and we drank some on the way out, but I was like, man, I didn't realize we could just buy it here and take it in and you're not supposed to drink on national parkland.
selling it at the
They were
ranger station.
selling it there, and that was the one cool thing about Iowa. I always tell people, like, it was so laid back. Like they were, everything was really relaxed. Like, because it's so hard to get to, I think that weeds out a lot of people. And the backpacking is really easy there. You know, you just arrive on the boat and you self-register, and it's like, it's no big deal. And they're like, everyone was really laid back, and I thought it was like very unique. And then they told us on the way out that Isle Royale is one of the parks that I think has the highest rate of reoccurrence of people going back to it.
No, I thought it was.
I believe that.
Or maybe it's the highest. Yeah. Yeah.
Was it?
Yeah.
Oh, I forget.
And I see why, because we got back and we're like, man, we got to go back. And we got to go back for 2 weeks. And talking about Isle Royale on all these podcasts, and like, man, because we're thinking about doing 2 weeks next year. Like, God, it makes me think about going to Isle Royale. That's pretty sweet.
I want to go across the whole island.
Yeah, go across and back.
60 miles or something like that.
Yeah. So big.
Yeah.
What's your next, I know we kind of talked about it earlier, but like, what's your next big backpacking trip? Do you have any, like, big ones planned?
I'm seriously looking at New Hampshire. So I
nice.
want to go up and hang out with Justin. So
Justin just showed up in the chat.
Did he?
Right.
That's my Lanshan brother.
Yeah.
Oh, nice.
You guys got land chance.
That's funny.
Yeah. This is the first year I started doing a tent. I mean, I've always had my hammock, but I mean, that's.
Why did you you pulled a me? Why did you go to the tent?
Well, because I literally was looking at going out to doing some different things out west, and I know probably a trekking pole supported tent may not be ideal, but there's also a lot of areas, like I was looking at Mount Mitchell, that has a 5,800 foot elevation bald that was ridiculous.
Okay.
Just for some diversity of where I can camp. I sleep better in a hammock without a doubt, but I think sometimes you can kind of put yourself out there in some cool spots with a tent where maybe you don't have to worry about finding a tree.
Yeah, that's true. That's true. I've yet to take advantage of that in my new tent life. I haven't like slept out in the open anywhere or somewhere where like you really get the advantage of actually being in a tent.
Yeah.
I don't know. All right, so we go 50 minutes. What's in is there anything in the chat we should address?
Yeah. Oh, let's see here. I'm going to the beginning.
We save the end of these, last 10 minutes.
Okay.
What do we got from you lovely people?
Scott Valor says, okay, what's up with the costumes? It's
Halloween, man. And we put this together like 10 minutes ago.
It's also an homage to those World War II vets out there.
Andy and I are World War II enthusiasts, I'd say.
Yeah.
We like to pay homage to it. A great generation of people fighting for a good cause.
Yep.
America, go airborne. All right.
All right.
What do we got next?
Okay, here we go. Sorry, I'm going through this.
Hopefully people watching this, the chat replay works. We've been having issues.
Otherwise, it'll be weird. Okay, by the way, this is David. This is from Andrew Sherman. By the way, show bros, thanks for the coupon for my UGQ quilts I ordered. I should get it in December. I plan on taking it out in Texas to try some hammock camping. Any tips for winter hammocking?
So I do think, I'll be curious what you think about this too. I do think hammocks can be warmer over the tents. Yes. So I think if you get, tips for hammock winter camping. Shug always says this. I think this is a good tip. Always go to bed warm.
Yes.
That's a huge thing. What are your winter hammock tips for people?
So yes, warm and dry. If you're not that, you're going to be miserable.
Go to the bathroom right before you get in the hammock.
Yeah. No, I honestly think layers and hammocks work as well as anything.
Mm-hmm.
Like just because I have a pretty heavy underquilt, I still might put on my down jacket, and if I get warm, I can always take it off. But I'd rather be warm at first and kind of shell down. But I mean, by the time you're half asleep, it's 1 o'clock in the morning, you're going to be a little cooler than where you were when you first went to sleep. So But yeah, I think hammocks by far can be warmer just because of the layer effect.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean,
What are your tips?
I think the
You've
only
done a
tip.
lot of winter
I've done a
hammocking.
lot of winter hammocking
Yeah.
now. I think my tips would be obviously you got to make sure you have a quilt system if you to handle the temps. So that's number one.
Yeah.
If you
Obviously.
yeah, if you don't have a proper underquilt to hand, like if you're gonna use like a 30-degree underquilt or something like that, and you're gonna like try to stretch that through winter, just do yourself a favor and go also buy like a foam pad from Walmart or something.
That's not a bad idea.
just because you're gonna be cold.
It's not a bad idea.
What you said about the layers, I do the same thing. I bundle up a ton right when I get in the hammock in winter, like a ton, and then I just start shedding stuff off as I start getting hot. Because I don't want to get in the hammock, be cold, and then it takes like an hour to get warm in there. That's just annoying.
Yeah. Yeah.
I don't know.
Good tips.
Yeah.
So
Good
I
tips.
made a winter cover for my hammock this last year.
That's a good thing to get. He's got one.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I mean, I wanted to make something that was kind of form fitting, so I was trying to make it to where it went around the actual underquilt itself. And when I got it set right, it probably slept about 10 degrees warmer. But
I forgot about that.
You got a 2QZQ.
Yeah, I use that
underquilt
too
protector.
for winter, and you're
It's
right.
a solid play for a winter.
Yeah,
Yes.
I use an underquilt protector for wind protection mainly,
Yeah.
and to make sure that it does everything possible to hold the heat in.
Yeah.
But I will say, like, if you don't want to screw around with, like, some people get a little annoyed with winter quilt or underquilts here and there. I mean, it is easier to, like, from like an insulation perspective, just to get like a a winter sleeping pad. It's not as comfortable, but I mean, you can certainly do it.
Yeah.
oh, absolutely, test it out at home first.
Yes.
Yeah.
Test it out at home. Solid advice. Great question.
Yeah.
What else we got?
David was dropping some knowledge about
All
the
right.
Olympics.
Hello to David's dinner party.
Let me see here.
There's a lot of comments.
Yeah. What's with these World War II? From Bryce?
Is that from Bryce?
Yeah.
Don't worry about it, Bryce. Happy Halloween.
Bryce also says hot tents, silky saws, and now this. Kevin is going full bushcraft.
I do like the silky saw, man. I used that last week, and it's light and it chewed through wood. So I think I think some sort of wood processing device is a must-have for winter backpacking.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And dude, it's better than that saw you got. It goes through wood faster.
Yeah, but I've never changed the blade on that ever.
That's true. That's probably part of it. Yeah.
Have you seen Outdoors 55's as saw?
Yes. Bryce has one.
a bunch of people got
I
it
know.
for free.
I know. I'd like to buy one. I'd like to I'll give him money for one. I know it's like 3 ounces. It's absurd.
Yeah, that is. That's
No, we
probably
didn't
one of
make the
most worth-
cut.
We didn't make
We didn't make the cut for that or the Light AF multi-day pack. We didn't make the cut for that either. That
Don't
got
worry
sent
about it. I
to
didn't
it.
even make the cut for Gonex. So
No, we haven't either.
Oh, we can get you. We can.
Has Gonex ever? Probably.
that's good.
Yeah.
That's all right. I'm good.
Probably.
All right. What else we got? Okay, Buffalo.
A lot of comments. Hopefully, the rewatch people can see the comments. There's been issues with YouTube.
Yeah.
Also, shout out to rate us if you're on iTunes. Drop us a rating. Some people rated us after last night's show.
Nice.
Drop us a rating there on iTunes.
Oh, this is great.
Jeremy, you better rate this episode 5 stars because you're on it. You have a bias.
I'm done.
Yeah.
That hiking guy's in the chat, and he just said he ordered a hot tent and a stove.
Oh, bastard.
He's got all the cool stuff.
He does have a lot of cool stuff. He does.
His truck is pretty ridiculous. Like the stuff that he
Yeah,
comes up
I
with.
know. He does have a lot of cool stuff.
Yeah. Let me
right.
see here. Yeah, those are
There's a bunch of comments. You have to go back and watch them.
lots of good comments
Yeah.
about where people are going and
Um,
people were asking for ideas on trips and stuff like that.
Nice. All right. It's been over an hour actually. It goes so fast.
One shout out though.
Shout out.
Yeah, if you're watching this live right now, switch over to Jeremiah.
Oh yeah,
and JK's.
they got a beard dude on their live stream, right?
Yes. Let's support all of our fellow.
Yeah, there's another live stream going on at like 8:15 or 8:30.
I think they just started actually.
Go check that out.
Jeremiah and JK.
It's on both of their channels.
Yeah.
Yeah. All right. Hey, dude. Thanks for doing this.
Yeah.
This is really fun.
ATOD, thanks a lot.
Nice.
All right,
Yeah.
man.
Awesome.
All right, dude. We'll see you later. Stay safe out there.
All right, you too.
All right. See ya.
Bye.
All right. Well, that was fun.
Yeah.
We got a lot of comments about the outfits.
Yeah.
Love it. Happy
Oh.
Halloween.
We got a lot more outfits.
All right. If you're still watching this, that's awesome. Good for you. Thanks for coming. Rate us on iTunes. What else we got coming up? We got a trip. We're going out next weekend.
We are going out next weekend.
We're going out in a month.
We're going out in a month.
The winter docket's loading up.
Yeah. We're filming videos tomorrow as
Yep.
well.
Keeping that content coming. All right. Thanks to everyone for supporting us.
Yes.
We really
you.
appreciate it. People watch this. People, comment, hang out. We like it. Hopefully you have fun. Oh, we got a shout out. Next Friday, what are we doing?
I don't know.
You know what we're doing. Next Friday.
Someone
sent us some food.
Oh yeah. Okay. Yeah. We got next Friday.
It's just us.
Just us. We're gonna live stream.
Maybe we'll do some call-ins.
Maybe we'll do
We
some
used
calls.
to do those. Those are pretty fun.
But somebody sent us some food and it's popular food. You all
Yep.
will have heard of
we'll
it.
do some.
And we're gonna and
We got a premium bottle of bourbon.
we have a premium bottle of bourbon that we have not had before, which we will be cracking open. So we'll do some
All right,
we'll do
so
some fun stuff next Friday.
Next Friday, we'll do a fun live stream. We'll taste test some food live, open up some choice bourbon. It'll be fun.
Yeah.
It'll be fun.
Yeah, it'll
all
be
right.
fun.
All right, everybody. That
All
was
right.
fun. Thank you all.
Yep. See ya.
Goodbye.
Bye.